Even though I talk mostly about how in the black community of textures and colorism, featurism, whatever, majority of how things can continue to of the harshness between for me towards light skinned mixed people and multi ethnicities people. I also want to speak about how other races can be racist towards you as an exotical Barbie, because I noticed that a lot and I want to speak more about this, and I do have story times as well. And one thing, I will speak about that Broadway feud, okay? Because we can learn some lessons from that. And I would just make a different video about that because I really don't want to put in this one. Anyways, so let's get started. I would definitely say for me while growing up, um, white. I would definitely say white girls was definitely jealous of me while growing up. In a different way of unambiguous black women. It was in a way where it wasn't racist, but it was more so like fetishization. Like, so while growing up, I definitely did have big top bonkers in the front, if you get what I'm saying, and I still do. But I remember how a lot of them would just talk about like, oh man, I wish I had your friend, like they like or sometimes they would talk about like, it almost got to a point where they wanted to like motor pull it, if that makes sense, but they also hated me in the sense where one of them started talking about breast cancer to me, you know what I'm saying? So that was a little scary. I know I'm laughing at it right now, but it was not funny then. I would definitely say the reason I brought that up is because along with unambiguous black women, it was more so like, oh, you need to cover yourself up because men out here, when I was covered, by the way, I was just wearing a t-shirt, but it's like, oh, you need to wear appropriate bra. When I was wearing an appropriate bra, they just didn't. It was a whole different story. But anyways, I noticed it more with white girls, how they get more so jealous, if that makes sense. And also too, with that being said, they hated how I was so, how should I say it, bubbly. Like I gave off like Linda, except I was a narcissist. And so and and I think that upset them more because they realized like, how should I say it? I remember how they was like, oh, why you're so happy and so bubbly. You know what I'm saying? Like they used to make fun of me, you know what I'm saying? Or like, I remember also too, one thing I noticed with white girls, not with not with unambiguous black women, I would say, but definitely white girls. I remember how they get upset when their crushes have a crush on me, and then they would do this weird thing. They'd be like, why wouldn't you, like, for example, they'd be like, why wouldn't you date Dave? Just date Dave. You guys are obviously interested in each other. I'm just sitting there like, and I know she has a crush on him. I mean, the crazy part is, so let me give a story time, because I'm just rambling on. So there's this guy, let's call him Dave, and the white girl that's hating on me, let's call her Sabrina. And so when we was in class and whatnot, and this is the time where I started dressing more modestly because I got into like my religion and whatnot, and I remember this like at first she wasn't jealous. I mean, I already know she was kind of jealous of me, not because of guys and whatnot. I mean, I really don't know, but I remember she used to make snarky comments like, "Oh, you're just a talkative like my mom," and me and my dad hate my mom. I don't know why she told me about her mom. I really don't know. Anyways, and like yeah, she was kind of like low-key like dissing me. I mean, I really didn't care because I knew I was a full-blown spaghetti in the bowl, okay? And I was in class, and this Dave, I knew Dave for a long time, ever since like elementary, I would say. And he is good looking. Dave is an all-American type white boy, okay? No doubt about it, he is hot. But I knew I wasn't his type, which is no, I mean, I wasn't really surprised or upset about it. I was like, oh, okay. But his mostly his type was like, I like, no offense, like stereotypical white girl. I hate saying that, but it's true. Like a Barbie white girl, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay, you know, it didn't hurt me none this one night. It's like, it is what it is. But Dave at this time, when I started like, I guess like when I started like, when we started talking more and when I started like, how should I say it, put my foot on the ground, because Dave, he jokes like a frat boy, if that makes sense. If you've ever been around a frat boy, I think you know, especially how frat boys joke around frat boys. Like, they'd be like, oh, like, you know, like they like to tease you, but not really tease you. They're telling you how they feel about you and whatever. Kind of passive aggressive, cheek away, you know. And I remember I used to put my foot down, because I still do this with men. I'd be like, be quiet, pimple face, or something like that, you know. And because it's fair game, you know, because they want to do that, I'm going to do it to them. Anyways, so I think I didn't really take it as Dave flirting with me, but I did know he used to blush like really intensely every time I like put him down. By the way, this is in class. Okay, this is in class. This is a little weird. It's weird. And he blushed. Everyone sees it, you know. And I think she got upset. She got upset more. Yeah, I remember that, because she used to get intensely mad. Mind you, she has a boyfriend. Sabrina has a boyfriend. Yeah, everyone knew though she had a crush on Dave, even though she had a boyfriend. I don't know. Her boyfriend is so sweet though. He helped me with tutoring in one night. I would definitely say that. We didn't really have any connection one night. He just helped me with homework and stuff, because he was at the tutoring center one night. He just happened to help me. I never asked about him helping me, whatever. Anyways, that's all I could tell. And I remember she visibly got upset, and she used to be like, oh, well, you know, he's single, by the way. You could date him. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, Sabrina, I don't want to date him, because at that time, I didn't take guys nagging, and I still won't, as a form of flirting. I'm like, ew. Like, if you like me, you better treat me like a princess. Because as Exotical Barbies, we treat it like a princess, a queen even. Empire, empress. Anyways, let me get back to the story. And so then, Sabrina was low-key dissing me in class. Like, for example, if I'd be like, oh yeah, I hate how this happened to Asian Americans at this time, when now she sit here and disagree with me, to the fact of disagreeing with me. If you kind of don't understand what I'm saying, remember that time when Rory and that other guy was kind of going back and forth, because Rory's being passive aggressive in class during her time in Yale with that bob head, when she was fat shaming a ballerina, when they was arguing over Palestine and Israel, you know. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. And I'm sitting here like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Or she tried to one-up me in a conversation, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, it was like a whole big deal. And at one point, me being me, I didn't notice it, you know, because I thought Sabrina was just being Sabrina. But apparently, at one point, because I had agreed with her on a statement one night, and my teacher made a comment. He's like, oh, finally you guys agree with something with each other. I didn't realize he was disagreeing. Exotical Barbies, that's why I say stay unbothered. Stay unbothered. Actually, I'm gonna make a video about that, because you need to stay unbothered, because I was stress free. This girl, I mean, I know she was stressing, but I didn't think she was stressed about that, you know? And back to Dave, because I don't know if she was like jealous of my looks or whatnot, but she was definitely jealous. Okay, she was definitely jealous. And Dave, one of the things that he would do is that I remember one time he said something. I guess he was teasing me. I don't know. And I said, Dave, why are you always teasing me? You know, he was sitting there blushing, you know, because I don't know how I get this boy to blush. I don't know. Here comes Sabrina, and she chimed in the conversation. By the way, this isn't in front of the class. Okay, imagine all what I just said in front of the class. I want you to imagine that. That is cringe, it is weird. She sat up here and said something, oh, he does it to everybody. Like, he literally does it to everybody. And I was like, girl, calm down, drink water, eat fiber, and take a crap, you know? Like, because she was pressed. You know what I'm saying? And so, anyways, with that being said, it was so weird. At one point, towards the end of the school year, one night, I remember how she was trying to go back and forth with me, and I was like, okay, if you're gonna say something, you better say it from my face. You know, because she was just, you know how narcissists try to provoke you so you could argue with them and whatnot. I wasn't into that. I said, honey, if you got something to say it from my face. You know, because she was making weird comments. Because, like, remember how I said how she's like, oh, why don't you guys on date? How come this, and the other? You know, she's like, and you know how she kept, like, trying to up me in a conversation. Yes. So I seem like, you know how narcissists try to, like underneath their breath, like, yeah, underneath their breath. I was like, honey, what you said? Because you can say it from my face. When I tell you her face was pressed, honey, her face was shocked. She made that dumbfounded face, you know what I'm saying? And I popped her bubble, you know what I'm saying? Another story I want to get. By the way, nothing happened. She didn't do anything, you know. She just sat there and made a dumbfounded face and kept looking like a muffet, you know, to the end of class. I hope her boyfriend broke up with her because that was really weird. That was really weird for her to have a crush on Dave while she had a boyfriend. The reason I said that is because I'm sorry. I'm so anti cheating. It disgusts me. It disgusts me to the core. Let me just say this one thing and I'll move on to the next story. At one point, because Dave wasn't in class, she said something, oh, I text Dave like all the time and he never answers. Why are you texting? And you know, it's none of my business. It's just weird. It's disgusting. And apparently everyone knew except for her boyfriend. I really don't know, but it just disgusts me. Poor guy. He was really good at helping me with my classes one night. I don't know. Anyways, let's go to the next story. So with this one, I definitely remember how, like, these girls, they were, I think they were Mexican, or I actually don't know. And I remember how with one of them, she was a slick racist. The reason I say that is because I remember how one Exotical, she's like a tall, light skin, you know, and oh my goodness, she was going through some things at this time, and I remember how he's all like in like a camp thing, whatever, you know, and let's like call the Exotical Brittany, okay, and let's call the girl I just mentioned, the Mexican girl, Tiffany. So Brittany, I remember me and her was talking one night, and when you get to know her, she's very sweet one night, but when you don't get to know her, you're gonna realize that she just cut to the truth. You know what I'm saying? She just blunt, you know. And when I say blunt, I don't mean like, oh, I'm just saying. You know, those type of girls that try to say they're blunt, but they're really not. They're just being mean. No, Brittany was very like, I don't like your food. It tastes horrible. Please try again. Oh, you did great this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ask, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. And plus, too, she's young. She's naive. So, you know. And so I remember I was talking to her. She went through a lot of things. So, like, I really deeply understood Brittany, you know, because we was talking one night. And I really hope she's doing well. Like, I really hope she's doing well. Anyways, so Tiffany... Now, there is a little rumor going around that Tiffany was racist. Now, we didn't really go into that one night with her or whatever, because mostly due to the fact that it was rumor, right? But at one point, she got into Tiffany got into with Brittany I think they had like little like disagreement one night, and Tiffany called Brittany like a horse or something like that. Like she called her, I remember it was something else though, and it was like racist because like you made like a animal, you know what I'm saying, towards like, because you know how people try to make, what's it call it, like to like racist comparisons towards animals, towards like races or ethnicities, you know what I'm saying. And that's what she did. And I remember Brittany, of course she was upset, you know, she snapped and she went to report her. And I remember how Tiffany was like trying to play that, oh no I didn't, you know, no I didn't. And then we was like, man, because like we didn't know what to expect, what to say one night, you know. And so then it went on again where Tiffany, what's it call it, said, said another thing that was definitely racist. And it was like, and I remember at one point they had to split the girls up. And the reason we knew Brittany was telling the truth and whatnot, because you know how narcissists like snap when you tell the truth, you know what I'm saying? Like, they be like, no, I didn't say that. And then they start cussing when not, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they get pressed, you know what I'm saying? It's because at one point we split them up. We saw Tiffany crying, you know, because she told that she basically going to be kicked out the camp for one night if she does this again. And then Tiffany, when she saw Brittany didn't say anything to Tiffany. Brittany was looking down on the ground. She's already tired. She's angry. She's upset. And I forgot what she said because it was a long time ago, but I remember she cussed at her and she started yelling at her and threatening her. Okay? That was when we knew, like, oh, you exposed yourself. You know what I'm saying? Another thing is that Tiffany towards me, because I remember how I was wearing this t-shirt. We was all wearing the same clothes, by the way. We was all wearing the same clothes. I have a bigger rack, you know, up front, you know. And I remember how Tiffany, mind you, I am wearing like a supported bra, you know, undergarment, you know. I mean, it wasn't really showing anything. I just have bigger rack, you know what I'm saying? Tiffany came up to me and said you need to wear a better undergarment. Like, you're showing too much, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how people like try to be like, oh, you're doing too much, or you're showing too much, when you're like doing nothing at all. You're just hot and pretty. And they can't stand where you're like hot and pretty. And I was like, what do you mean, Tiffany? And she's like, oh, well, you know, you're exposing yourself and you can get in trouble. I was like, no, I cannot. And I remember I went to the person head of camp. I'm like, hey, am I showing too much? They was like, no. What are you talking about? And yeah, it was definitely weird. I wouldn't say it was a racist interaction, but it was definitely like something she was pressed about. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was like she tried to act like, you know how Glinda in the, what's that called, Wicked, how she's like, oh no, like, I just want to help you out and whatnot, like, that's how she was acting towards me. I was like, girl. Another thing that happened, that I noticed how other races can be racist towards Exoticals. By the way, when I say racist towards Exoticals, actually, remember Lucy Liu, from, what's it called, Charlie Girls? I forgot the movie called. Please don't tag me in the comments. She's an Exotical Barbie and she experienced attacks. Like, when I say that, I mean, like, who's that guy that played with Ortega in that movie where she's like a student and he's like a professor and he basically had a relation. Yeah, it was so weird. Anyways, if you know that movie, I'm going to show you the movie and whatnot. That guy, by the way, he called Lucy Liu a slur. And by the way, because he was asked about something, I forgot what, about the event, and basically he's like, oh yeah, it was good and whatnot. He started talking about it, and then he brought up Lucy Liu for some odd reason. That's what happens when you're in Exotical Barbies, because they will bring you up for no reason at all. They will literally bring you up for no reason at all. And he was like, oh yeah, and he basically called her the slur that they call Asian people. Disgusting. And yeah, you when I mentioned her as an example because you as Exotical Barbies, because I know there's other Exotical Barbies that's probably like you know, who may be mixed, light skin, who may be benefited from what I put on description of my channel, featurism, colorism, texturism, whatever, you know, who also benefit from those things from different races that experiences the same things, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, Sofia Vergara. I remember how, oh my gosh, she made me so angry. Remember how she was, and before you say, oh, it was a joke, I'm just gonna let you know right now, it's not a joke, and I will delete your comment. Remember how she was on this Saturday Night Live, that I forgot that show. I forgot what it's called. And remember how people start saying like, oh, she, like, because Sofia Vergara, if you don't know, she's a package. Face, body, so strong. It's not even tea, it's coffee. And acting, impeccable. Anyways, I remember it's in the United States, you know, because they're so jealous. Remember how they're like, oh, she must be a man. She must be a man. Because they can't handle a baddie. It just makes me so upset when they do this. It makes me so upset. And remember, I'm glad she smacked that guy on air on that show, because that was really disrespectful. I'm glad she did, because that's very disrespectful. They will, I'm telling you, as Exotical Barbies, they probably will say, they will be either racist or they try to discriminate you of you being a woman, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they try to be like, oh, are you sure? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they try to do that to you. Also, too, I'm trying to think of other story times, because I know it happens. Oh my gosh. This is another one. Okay, this video is long. I just realized this, but it's okay. So this one you know what? I'm gonna save this story time for another time. Yeah, but I'm gonna leave you on a cliffhanger. Actually, I'm not. I'm just actually gonna make a video about this later. Okay. But anyways, let me know. Are you an Exotical Barbie? You know what I'm saying? Are you, you know, like, tell me what's your race, ethnicity, you know, whatever. Tell me what you experience, you know, from another race. And tell me, how did, like, you know, tell me, like, or what you know, like, hey, I had these, but I noticed for racist white girls, they do this, or for racist other race, you know what I'm saying? So let me know, you know, because I noticed that a lot. It's in Exotical Barbies, you know what I'm saying? So let me know. Comment down below. Like and subscribe for some more.